She signed the marriage contract in under 30 seconds. Never read the fine print. Never noticed the clause buried on page 7 that made it nearly impossible to leave. And she definitely didn't know the man she was marrying had been planning this for 2 years. The marriage was supposed to be simple, a business arrangement, a merger of families that benefited everyone. Her father got the investment he desperately needed. His father got the political connection he wanted, and she got a husband she'd met exactly twice. Adrian Volkov, heir to one of the most powerful families in the country. 34 years old, cold, controlled, the kind of man who negotiated billion-dollar deals before breakfast and never showed emotion. He shook her hand at the wedding like they were closing a transaction. She thought that's all it was, a family deal, nothing personal. She had no idea that every clause, every condition, every carefully worded paragraph had been designed with one purpose: to make sure she could never leave. This is the story of a woman who thought she was signing a contract, and the man who'd been obsessed with her long before she knew his name. The proposal came through lawyers, not from him, never from him, just his family's legal team with a marriage contract. 12 pages, single-spaced, detailing everything from living arrangements to public appearances to the exact conditions under which either party could seek dissolution. Spoiler: dissolution was nearly impossible. Elena Morrison sat in her father's study and read it twice. "This is insane," she said. Her father didn't look up from his desk. "This is survival, Dad. The company's 6 months from bankruptcy. We're hemorrhaging money we don't have. The Volkovs are offering a lifeline." He finally met her eyes. "All they want in return is a connection to our political network. Marriage makes that legitimate. So you're selling me. I'm saving our family by selling me." He was quiet for a moment. "Then, I'm asking you to make a sacrifice, the way I've sacrificed for this family my entire life." She looked at the contract again. Minimum 5-year commitment, joint financial assets, mandatory cohabitation, required attendance at all family and public events. "What if I say no?" she asked quietly. "Then we lose everything. The house, the company, your mother's medical treatments." He leaned forward. "Elena, I wouldn't ask if there was another way." She thought about her mother, about the experimental treatment that cost $40,000 a month, about the staff who'd been with them for 20 years, about duty and sacrifice and all the things she'd been raised to believe mattered more than what she wanted, and she sighed. The first month was strange. They lived in the same house but barely existed in the same world. He left before she woke, came home after she'd retreated to her wing. When they did cross paths, he was polite, distant, asked if she needed anything, informed her of upcoming events she'd need to attend, treated her exactly like what the contract said she was, a strategic acquisition. She should have been fine with that, should have been grateful he wasn't demanding more. But something about the way he looked at her when he thought she wasn't watching made her uneasy, not threatened, not afraid, just in a way that felt too intense for a business arrangement. Their first public appearance was a charity gala. She wore a dress his stylist had selected, emerald green, backless, more revealing than anything she'd ever worn. She felt exposed until she walked into the living room and saw Adrian's face. He was adjusting his cufflinks, looked up when she entered, and went completely still. "Is it okay?" she asked, suddenly subconscious. "Your stylist said you look perfect." His voice was rough. "Are you sure? I can change." "Don't." He cleared his throat, controlled himself. "Don't change. We should go." At the gala, he never left her side, hand on her lower back, guiding her through crowds, introducing her as my wife with a particular emphasis that made people take notice. When a man looked at her too long, Adrian stepped between them, casual, deliberate. When someone asked how they met, he said, "I saw her and knew immediately." She looked at him, surprised. That wasn't in the script they'd agreed on. He didn't elaborate, just moved them to the next conversation. But his hand stayed on her back all night, warm, possessive, unmistakably claiming it happened 3 months in. She was looking for a book. Adrian had mentioned he had a copy in his study. The study door was locked. She'd never seen it locked before. She found the key in his desk drawer, hidden, but not well hidden, like he wanted it found eventually. Or like he'd been careless because he never expected her to look. She opened the door. The study was exactly what she expected. Dark wood, leather, floor-to-ceiling books, and a cabinet, also locked. She shouldn't have opened it, should have walked away, but something pulled at her, some instinct she couldn't name. She found the second key, smaller, taped under the desk, opened the cabinet, and her entire world stopped. Photos, so many photos, of her, from 2 years ago. At a fundraiser she barely remembered attending. She was wearing a blue dress, navy hair up, her grandmother's pearl earrings. She remembered that night now, vaguely. She'd argued with someone about education reform, been passionate, animated. Someone had photographed her, not just once, dozens of times. Different angles, different moments, her laughing, her gesturing, her looking off to the side at something outside the frame, below the photos, event programs, guest lists with her name circled, notes in handwriting she recognized as Adrian's, father's company vulnerable, timeline, 6 to 8 months, connection through Richardson political network, her schedule, Tuesdays teaches at community center, Fridays visits mother at care facility. Her hands shook as she lifted the final document, a copy of their marriage contract. But this one had handwritten notes in the margins. Adrian's writing, precise, controlled, next to the 5-year minimum commitment clause. Not long enough. Revise, next to the joint assets clause, ensures financial dependence. Keep, and at the bottom of page 7, next to the dissolution clause that made leaving nearly impossible, he'd written one line, make sure she can't leave. She stared at those 5 words, and heard footsteps in the hallway. Adrian stopped in the doorway, saw her standing there, saw the open cabinet, saw the photos in her hands. His face went completely blank. Elena. What is this? Her voice shook. What the hell is this? He didn't move, didn't try to take the photos, just looked at her with those dark, unreadable eyes. The truth, he said quietly. The truth, she laughed. It sounded broken. The truth is, you've been stalking me for 2 years. I wasn't stalking. You have photos of me from before we met. You have notes about my schedule. You, she looked at the contract, at his handwriting. Make sure she can't leave. He closed his eyes briefly. Let me explain. Explain what? That you manipulated my entire life. That you waited for my family to fall apart so you could what? Trap me here. Yes? The word hit her like a physical blow. She stared at him. What? Yes. He stepped into the room, closed the door behind him. I waited, I watched. I made sure that when the opportunity came, you would have no choice but to say yes. You're insane. I'm obsessed. His voice was flat, factual. saw you at that fundraiser 2 years ago, and I haven't been able to think about anything else since. She couldn't breathe, so you just decided to buy me. I decided to make sure you ended up here, with me, where you belong. I don't belong to you. You signed a contract that says otherwise. She threw the photos at him. They scattered across the floor like evidence. You think this is love? Her voice cracked. You think obsession and manipulation and trapping someone is love? He looked at her for a long moment, then said very quietly, "You think this marriage was business? It wasn't. It was the only way I could guarantee you would stay." He paused. "I've been planning this for 2 years." The room felt too small, too cold. "Why?" she whispered. He picked up one of the photos, the one of her laughing, looked at it like it was something precious. "Because you think obsession is when you want someone," he said. "But obsession is not about wanting." He looked at her. "I didn't just want you, Elena. I rearranged my entire life so you would end up in it." She should have run, should have called her lawyer, her father, someone. Should have done anything except stand there staring at him while her heart hammered and her mind raced. And every instinct she had screamed danger, but she didn't run, because underneath the fear and the anger and the shock, there was something else. A question she couldn't stop asking. If he went to all this trouble, if he planned for 2 years, manipulated everything, made sure she couldn't leave, why did he keep his distance? "I don't understand," she said finally. "If you're so obsessed with me, why separate wings? Why the distance? Why treat me like a stranger?" His jaw tightened. "Because I made you a promise." "What promise?" "That I wouldn't impose. That this would be a business arrangement. That I would give you privacy." He set down the photo. "And despite what you think of me right now, I keep my promises, even when it's killing you. Especially then." She looked at him, really looked, at the careful control, the rigid posture, the way he held himself like he was physically restraining something. "How long were you planning to keep this up?" she asked. "Forever, if necessary." "That's insane." "I know." His voice was rough. "But I'd rather have you here, hating me, than lose you completely. You don't have me, don't I?" He stepped closer. "You're in my house. You wear my ring. You signed a contract that makes you legally mine for 5 years minimum. I have you, Elena. I made sure of it." She should have felt trapped, terrified. Instead, she felt something else entirely. "You're right," she said quietly. "You have me legally, contractually. You made sure I couldn't leave." His eyes flickered with something that might have been pain. "But you can't make me stay," she continued. "Not really. You can trap my body here, but you can't trap me. Not unless I choose to stay." "I know. So what happens now?" He was quiet for a long moment. "Now you decide," he said. "Whether you can live with what I am. Whether you can stay in a house with someone who loves you enough to destroy your life, to keep you in his. That's not love. Then what is it?" She didn't have an answer. They stood there in his study, surrounded by evidence of his obsession, and she tried to figure out what she was feeling. Fear. Yes, definitely fear. Anger. Absolutely. But also something she couldn't name. Something that felt dangerous to acknowledge. She didn't leave, didn't call anyone, didn't pack her things, just went to her wing and tried to process what she'd learned. Adrian gave her space, didn't try to explain further, didn't apologize, just left her alone. But she noticed things she hadn't before. The way the kitchen was always stocked with her favorite foods. The way her bathroom had the specific brand of products she preferred. The way the thermostat in her wing was was set exactly to the temperature she liked. Small things, details, the kind you only noticed if you'd been paying very close attention for a very long time. A week later, she found him on the terrace at midnight. He was standing at the railing, glass of scotch in hand, looking at nothing. "Can't sleep?" she asked. He turned, surprised. "I didn't think you'd want to talk to me." "I don't." She moved to the railing beside him. "But I need to understand something." "Ask." "At the gala, when you said you knew immediately, what did you mean?" He was quiet for a moment. "I meant I saw you and my entire world rearranged itself." He set down his glass. "I'd spent 15 years building a life, a career, a reputation, and in one night, none of it mattered anymore. The only thing that mattered was figuring out how to make you mine. That's not normal. I know. That's obsession. I know that too." She looked at him. "Do you even understand how messed up this is?" "Yes." He met her gaze. "But I'd do it again. Every single thing, because you're here. And that's worth everything." She should have been horrified, should have seen this as the red flag it clearly was. But all she felt was wanted, completely, utterly, obsessively wanted. And she hadn't felt that in her entire life. "I should hate you," she whispered. "You probably should. I should leave. The contract says." "I don't care what the contract says." She turned to face him fully. "I'm saying I should want to leave, but I don't." His breath caught. "Elena, I'm not saying I forgive you. I'm not saying this is okay. I'm saying," she stopped. "I'm saying I need to know if this is real." "What do you mean?" "I mean, if I stay, is it because you trapped me? Or because you actually..." She couldn't finish. He stepped closer. "If you stay," he said quietly, "I will spend every day proving that you're not trapped, that you're chosen. How? However you need me to." His hand lifted, stopped just short of touching her face. "I can't undo what I did. Can't make it less manipulative or less wrong. But I can show you that every clause, every condition, every carefully planned detail came from one place." "Where?" "Love," his voice broke. "Completely irrational, obsessive, all-consuming love." She looked at him, this man who'd orchestrated her entire life, and made a choice. She closed the distance between them and kissed him. He kissed her back like a man who'd been holding back for 2 years and couldn't anymore. Hands in her hair, pulling her impossibly close, kissing her like she was oxygen and he'd been suffocating. When they broke apart, they were both shaking. "This is a terrible idea," she breathed against his mouth. "Probably the worst I've ever had. You manipulated my entire life. I know. You're obsessed with me in a way that's definitely not healthy. Completely unhealthy," he agreed. "And you trapped me in a contract. One you can break." He pulled back to look at her. "I'll release you from it. Right now. If that's what you need to believe. This is real." She stared at him. "You'd let me go? I'd let you choose." His thumb brushed her cheek. "And then I'd spend every day making sure you chose to stay." Something cracked open in her chest. "You're insane. For you. Completely." She kissed him again. Harder this time. Desperate. Trying to figure out when fear had turned into something else entirely. They burned the contract. Well, she burned it while he watched. At a whole ceremony. Just the two of them. In the fireplace, in what was now their bedroom. Not the East Wing. Not the West Wing. Just theirs. She watched it turn to ash. "You know this means I could leave any time," she said. "I know. Doesn't that terrify you? Every single day." He pulled her into his lap. "But I'd rather have you here by choice than trapped by paper. Look at you. growth. Don't expect miracles, she laughed. They'd moved her things into his room months ago. The East Wing sat empty now, a reminder of how things used to be. She still found evidence of his obsession sometimes. The photos, the notes, the meticulous planning. It should have disturbed her. Instead, it made her feel chosen in a way she'd never been before. Hey Adrian, yeah, that fundraiser. 2 years ago. What was I wearing? He didn't hesitate. Navy blue dress, hair up, your grandmother's pearl earrings. You were arguing with Senator Morrison about education funding. She stared at him. You remember all that? I remember everything about that night. He kissed her temple. It's when my whole life changed. Because you saw me. Because I saw you and decided you were mine. He pulled her closer. I just had to make you see it too. She turned in his arms. You know you're not secretly planning my life again, right? He smiled, then said, not planning. A pause. Just making sure nothing ever takes you away from me. The words should have scared her. Should have felt like a threat. Instead, they felt like a promise. And she kissed him like she was sealing it. Elena thought she was signing a business deal, a marriage of convenience, a family arrangement, a sacrifice she was making for people she loved. She had no idea that every word in that contract had been carefully crafted by a man who'd been obsessed with her for 2 years. That the merger wasn't random, that the husband she'd met twice had been watching her, learning her, planning for her, making sure that when the opportunity came, she'd have no choice but to say yes. It should have been terrifying, and it was, for a while. But here's what they don't tell you about obsession. Sometimes it's destructive, sometimes it's dangerous, and sometimes rarely, impossibly it's just love that doesn't know how to introduce itself without a 12-page contract and a foolproof plan. Adrian didn't know how to say I love you without making sure she couldn't leave. He didn't know how to pursue someone without orchestrating their entire world. He just knew that he saw her, and everything else became background noise. And he spent 2 years making sure she'd end up exactly where he needed her. In his house, in his life, in his arms. Was it healthy? No. Was it romantic? Depends who you ask. But was it real? God, yes. It was the most terrifyingly real thing either of them had ever felt. The most disarming thing in the world is not charm. It is being truly, carefully, patiently seen. She thought she was in control of the deal. She had no idea she was the reason for it. They're still together, by the way, 4 years later. No contract, no legal obligations. Just to people who chose each other. Her because he proved his obsession came with absolute devotion. Him because she chose to stay after learning the truth. And that choice meant more than any contract ever could. Because real love isn't about trapping someone in your life. It's about making them never want to leave. Even when all the doors are unlocked. Even when they could walk away anytime, they stay. Because they're seen, they're chosen, they're loved, in a way that makes everything else irrelevant. She signed the contract in 30 seconds, but she chose him every day after, and that specific, freely given choice was worth more than any clause he could have written. Because the best kind of love doesn't need a contract, it just needs to be real, and theirs was. If this story found you at the right moment, share it with someone who needed to hear it today. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Your opinion is important to us. Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments. Thanks for watching.